Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the I Don't Know Running podcast, where we share our experiences and make running fun and sometimes not so fun. I'm Lewis, and I'm a self-admitted lazy ultra runner.
And I'm Mitch, and I wanted to jump into to remember to like and subscribe right off the bat.
Remember to like and subscribe to your favorite podcast that beats them all.
Right, and because it's interesting, we were both looking at things, and we were looking at growth just in how much YouTube has taken off. And it's just interesting, and I wanted to talk about that just for a second. Just early on, the comments, I enjoy the comments. I'm seeing more comments come through.
Yeah.
Anytime that you can even give me a hard time, I'm good with that, because then I can respond to that.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Tell Mitch what he's doing wrong, how he can improve.
Yeah, any of that.
All of that. How much you laugh at his comments and stupidity on the podcast. And we share that in common.
And don't forget, when Lewis is wrong, call him out.
That will definitely increase the comments. That will definitely get us a lot of comments. Today we're going to talk about a couple of, one kind of serious, and then the other is just going to be a ton of fun.
Oh yeah.
We're going to start off with the Houston Half Marathon. The marathon happened as well, although we couldn't track down what we were looking for. So we're going to save that for another episode. There were some things that happened, not necessarily things that happened, but just you had seen some things with the full. We want to dig into it, but we got to do some more research on it.
Yeah, and Houston's a big race. I've never run Houston, but I think that's an Olympic qualifier too, right? So it's just
what I don't know about it is if it's always
the
Olympic qualifier.
I don't know.
I don't know that, but I do know it is traditionally is an Olympic qualifier,
right?
And for the half and the full, and I think it was again.
I think any of them can be an Olympic qualifier if it's a certified course. True. I think that's the actual.
Well, I don't think so. We're not sure on that. This is one of those times you can comment and say, you guys are idiots. It goes perfectly with the name of the podcast.
You don't know anything. Yeah, exactly. We know.
And we don't know. Help us learn.
I think that's what Jim Walmsley ran.
Yeah.
Was the Houston half a few years ago.
Yeah, so did Zach Ripley.
Yeah.
I think it was last year. And he's a local, very fast runner. Right on the edge of being an Olympic qualifier.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that was my point.
Oh, Jim did. But I'm talking about Zach.
Zach did at Bayshore. So he got invited to run Houston because of what he did.
Oh, that's
Bayshore.
Right. Yes, that's right. His time at Bayshore allowed him to run the Olympic qualifier.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what
we're getting there.
We're getting there.
But we're not even going to talk about the marathon. We're going to talk about the half and what happened at the half. I stumbled across this video last week and I went, okay, well, let me check it out. Well, Conner Mantz of the U.S. he's a very fast runner. He's a very fast half and full distance runner. And he was in contention at the end of the Houston Half Marathon. So much so that...
Stride for stride.
Stride for stride. So much so that I showed Mitch the video. And what do you think before we... I mean, you could say, but what do you think?
I think he got hosed.
I think it was...
Whether the outcome would have been the same or not, but
yeah,
definitely messed up.
Yeah, maybe the results still would have been the same. However, it is clear that Jew Gobina, I'm maybe slaughtering that name.
More than likely.
From Ethiopia, who ran a 59:17. Conner Mantz also ran a 59:17, so that's how close this half marathon finish was. Jew Gobina and Conner Mantz are coming down. If you haven't seen this video, let's just describe it. They are stride for stride coming down the finish. there is a white line you can see. There are two people holding the finish ribbon across the finish, and there is enough room. It's not like they had to like fight to get between these two people. You know, there's 8 feet, 10 feet between of space for them to run between. And Gobina is on. I'm going to do it from the runner's perspective. So we're running into the finish. Gobina is on the right side of the white line. Mantz is on the left side of the white line. White line just happens to be there, right? This isn't a marker that they have to,
right.
It's not for the race. It just happens to be a white line on the road. Well, Gobina, with, I don't know, whatever, 10, 15 yards left in the last mad dash, is now right in front of Mantz on the left side of the line as they hit the tape. And it is clear that he veers left in front of Mantz. So interestingly enough, to Conner Mantz's credit, at the end of the race, there was an interview, and he said nothing negative about Gobina, about the race, like just about anything, about the finish, nothing but praises for the competition, for just, he felt very blessed to be able to run and do all of this, and couldn't have been more upstanding. However, when you watch that video, if you go right now and search Houston half marathon finish, that video I almost guarantee will pop up at the top. Watch it and let us know what you think. From the video that I watched, the guy said, and this isn't like this is just somebody who follows running, right? This guy that put out this video. He said, but basically, if you sat the United States track and field, United States track and field, no, that's not it. Well, basically the official party for track and field, which governs this race in order to be official for, like the Olympic qualifying. If they had not done anything by like the next day, the likelihood that they're going to change anything is next to none. So chances are it's going to stay this way. However, it's really a bummer to me that it finished the way it did. It just would have been nice to just be a clean, it's a whole, I don't know, when you see a little bit of shuffling and shoving and moving around in races, that is part of races. Like I get that. But it is, I don't know, kind of a bummer.
I guess how much of that happens out there that you don't see?
True. Yeah.
So I'm sure that they're battling and
yeah.
It just happens to be at the finish line where that can be seen.
Very, yeah, especially when it's that critical point in the race and all that. Well, either way, congrats to both of them. Aju on the win, Conner on the second place, and both finishing at 59:17, sub 1 hour. And, oh, by the way, that actually beat the American record for the half marathon. I forgot, buried the lead on this. That actually crushed the American record by like 30 seconds.
Huh.
The prior record was like 59, 30 or 40 something, right? 48 or something like that. And he ran 59:17. And, and that was Ryan Hall. That was Ryan Hall when he won Houston. That's why I'm putting all this together now. I believe it was when Ryan Hall won it back in, 10 years ago or something like that. Maybe more. He had set the record, pretty sure on that. If I'm wrong, comment. Love it. We might start just saying wrong stuff just to get people to comment.
Right.
I mean, wink, wink. I think that's what it is. No, I believe it was Ryan Hall set the record and Conner Mantz beat it. Kudos, hats off. And who knows, maybe could have got a win out of it as well. But hey, let's dive into something just awesome and fun that's happening right now.
What is it?
It is the Chipotle Challenge 2025. Happens throughout the world. This isn't even just the United States. It's happening throughout the world. Let me see. There's like London. Let me pull it up here. London,
But
Paris.
using Strava.
Yes, using Strava. What do we got here? So we've got Paris, London. Maybe that's the only two outside of the U.S. But either way, there's London and Paris that are outside of the U.S. that are competing for this. And if you don't know what this is, basically what this is it's a Strava segment challenge. Mitch and I are pretty sure that it is 1/10 one way and 1/10 back. So a total of a 2/10 segment.
Yeah, because when we were looking at it and trying to look it up, and it's like, oh, that makes me think of our own running group Strava challenge.
Yeah, basically a local legend.
Yeah,
we determined.
Yeah, it's a local legend, but we set up a Strava segment for our group.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's 2/10. And he's like, well, that seems really short. And then he looked at it, I was like, oh, it's 2/10. That is a really short segment.
That is.
So that is dumb short. Like
it is when you consider some of the distances that people are doing.
Right. So it was just interesting as we kind of start digging into it.
Yeah. And it is, in fact, not it is a local legend challenge because it is the most times somebody does the segment. So there are different types of Strava challenges. Some are fastest. But this one happens to be local legend.
But I think local legends, it's like 90 days. It's the most within 90 days.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And if they're only doing it for a month, I don't know how they keep track of it.
Yeah, this one's just for a month. Well, and I think probably they've worked it out with Strava to be able to say, yep, this is...
I have to look at my settings to see if how you would see that.
Set up there are ways you can control some of it on your end. I've set up a couple of segments in my area that are popular segments. And there's some options for you because you can choose to do both ways. You can choose to do one way. You can choose to do... I don't know, some different things with it. But at any rate, this is pretty cool. It runs from, and we're just going to go through this because it's kind of fun and it does make you wish, man, I wish I was around here.
Or
that'd be a lot of fun.
Or knew about it.
Yeah, or knew about it. So it is, they did it last year. I don't know if they've done it in prior years, but they did do it in 2024. The 2025 Chipotle Segment Challenge series is 25 different cities throughout mostly in the United States, but as I mentioned, a couple of them in other countries. And they are all 2/10 of a mile. So I believe, I'm trying to think of the one, I think it's just like one block. It is one corner to the other corner and turn around and go back.
So it's horrible.
The way I happen across is I follow Aravipa and Jameel Curry, and who is the president, CEO of Aravipa. And I follow a couple of his different YouTube channels, and I saw him, one of his posts was running for Chipotle for a year. And I thought, okay, whatever. Well, I mean, I did spark an interest in me, but I may not have watched the first one. And then I saw another one. And then I saw another one. And turns out he was posting nearly daily, maybe it was daily, on this Chipotle challenge. And so over the last week, I watched a couple of the videos, and he is deep into deep in this challenge with another guy in Tempe that happens to be running it there as well.
And you said how many times does he have it on? Like 1,000?
He's at 1,500 and I don't know, 30 or something like that he has ran this since January 2nd, 1,500 and something odd times. And second place is also at 1,500 and something. So they are neck and neck. And I think that they are leading. We are going to go through every city quickly. We're not going to completely bog this down, but we're going to look at all the leaders of every city.
So what's funny about that, though, is you said the price. So it's like, oh, well, you're a Chipotle. I was like, oh, that doesn't sound bad. You figure it's this much.
I can eat at Chipotle every day.
But it's, it's not all you can eat every day. And it's not every day.
No, matter of fact, it's only once a week. So you basically get 52.
52 burritos.
Well, and we're already missing out on a month. So we're down to 48.
So I still think it's because it's not about the prize. It's about the bragging rights.
It's about the fun. It's about the bragging rights. And what did we find out? It's the total prize for each segment. Your grand total winnings is approximately $780.
So how many miles did we figure out that he probably has done on it? If it's 1,000, somebody quick do math.
What is that? So it's, well, for him, let's say 1,000 or 530. So he's at 306.
So 300, that's for a month. That's not a ton of miles, but for a 0.2 of a mile, that's a lot of miles.
It is for 0.2, but I think he the last 2 weeks, he's put in like 130-mile weeks. So he might have got a slow start the first week, but I think this week, I think he's going to be at like 140.
140 miles on 0.2 of a segment.
A 0.2 segment. Oh, maddening. And we did talk about this briefly, talk about ultra running training. That'll toughen you mentally. That'll toughen you physically. He did mention the one I watched yesterday or the day before, or in the last few days. He said he was hurting. He was hurting a little bit because he had put in a 40-mile day the prior day, and he was planning to put in another 40-mile to 50-mile day. Yeah.
So with our dumb segment that we set up, we did this. So and it was just to be funny. So it got named after Carl's Corner, because they're building this new condo complex, and there was a little shortcut through there. So he ran through there and he fell. Like he tripped over like a lip on the sidewalk and went down. Well, and then, I don't know, a week later, Rob runs with him and is like, hey, we got to get you back on the horse. We're going to go back through here. He tripped on a manhole cover. I don't know if he went all the way down, but he basically fell again. So we named the segment after him. So then we would just go in there, and then whoever would get the local legend would get it. So then people were sneaking up there and just doing that loop.
Doing multiples
and stealing it back. And then Rob got the bright idea of doing Carl's Corner NASCAR, because you did a loop when he did that segment. So then they were going up there, and then somebody couldn't run for a day. So we would just sit there and run through that segment and just
build up segments.
And then I stole it from Carl one day, and I put, the swiper, no swiping, like on my Strava. And I laughed at him because I got done, and then he was just heading out. He was getting ready to go home, and he saw that I beat him, and then went back up there, drove up there, and did 1 million segments, 1 million loops on it to get it back after he got done running.
Yeah, that's not
So I love the idea. I think it's hilarious.
It is a cool idea. It is a long time to do that, though, for this. January 2nd through the 31st.
That's a long time.
Yeah, January 2nd through the 31st.
So now we watch it switch between people depending on who's running the most and doing all that stuff.
Yeah, it is funny. I do pay attention to some local legends, because there's times I'll dabble with owning a few. There is a guy that there's a segment I do. It's through these condos, and similarly, they have a segment basically from when you enter it to where you exit it. And some dude must have moved into the neighborhood, and that's his route every single day. And I don't run every day, but that guy is running it multiple times a day. I'm like, wow, that's a segment I'm never going to get back.
You don't run every day is what you're saying.
No, even when I run all the time, I don't run every day. I've never run it. I've never ran every day. I've always been a 3 to 5 times a week. That's it.
No, I know. So now if you want that segment back, you'll just have to run back and forth.
I'm not doing that. No, I'll I'll happily go out and try to get segments if I see them. And if I'm running regular and I've got some speed, like I'll try to get them on speed. Or local legends like the bridge, because it happens to be that I run that route a lot. And I might do that multiple times because of my routes. Yeah. So that one kind of makes sense to me just because it works. But I'm not going to do a local because...
It's funny how they turn into that, though, because there's a few segments on our route. And then Carl, on purpose, like I know he was doing like a interval workout. So on one of the segments, he was doing loops on that segment. This is last year. And I'm like, yeah, I know what you're doing.
Yeah. You're just trying to get a segment. Local legend.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Tell us about your local legend that you have, how short they are, how long they are, because there are long ones too. And I don't know if you guys, if anybody has owned them and what have you. But we're going to run through these cities real quick and just kind of show who's leading what and show what cities are really putting in the work. And we're just going to run through them. I just pulled them up quickly. These may be off a little bit because of the sorting. I'm not going to go to every single page. It doesn't sort. It's just, when you pull it up, if you were to pull it up, you'd understand. Doesn't just sort it by attempts. It's weird. It's by a time, and the time doesn't really matter because it's all about the segments, the number of segments. All right, so let's start in... Why do I have Houston? Oh, I have the second page pulled up first. Let me pull up so we can keep this in order. Where is it? All right, here we go. Let's start in Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor, Michigan, a total of 1,600 participants, and the leader looks like they have 297 attempts.
Slacker.
That is a slacking city because, man, it looks like I would say 500 is I'm just going to say average is the ones I quickly have seen, 500 to 600. So like next is Atlanta. Looks like the leader there. Well, number one, they have 2,500 participants and 585 leads Atlanta. No, 601. There's somebody at the bottom, 601. Looks like that leads Atlanta. Man, I hope they've got these in somewhat of an order. It looks like, yeah. Boston. Boston has 3,600 participants. It's interesting. They have 3,600 participants, but it looks like not everybody is... Their distance is 1/10 of a mile. Theirs is even shorter. Unless it's the whole one-way thing that you and I were talking about. Might be messed up. But that one is 563. Looks like that leads that one, but I'm wondering if that's actually doubled then. No, it'd be half that. Yeah, not sure. Boston might be messed up. Boston is messed up. But anyway, love it. All the same. But I was going to say, only 1,900 people there's only 1,900 attempts. So it must be not everybody has started or plugged in and done it, even though a bunch of people may have jumped in to compete.
Does it just automatically pull the name, or do you have to actually sign up for it?
Well, no, you'd have to sign, like join the Boston Segment Challenge. And I think that's the 3,600 people that have joined it, even though not maybe 3,600 people have attempted. You know what I mean?
I could see that many attempts. It could be.
So yeah, let's go to excuse me, Charlotte. What do they say? Charlotte? No, Charlotte. Charlotte. Is it Charlotte? There's a way that if you're from Charlotte, you know that you're from Charlotte. I don't know. 1,800 participants and 402 looks like that is leading. 402, so still up near 500 attempts. Next is Chicago, 3,400 participants. 3,000 attempts. This one, they have a lot of participants actually participating. 584. 584 looks like that is leading Chi-Town. Next is Columbus, Ohio. 2,000 participants. Looks like 445. So again, right in that 500 range. We've got Denver, and I think they were in the 599 range. Let's go to, okay, now we're going to kind of speed roll through some of these. Houston, looks like 448. So again, 500-ish. Kansas City, 663. Okay, 663. And not many people participating in that. 888. That's it. Las Vegas. Oh my gosh. Guess how many participants? Take a guess at how many participants are in Las Vegas. I'm going to tell you it is more than the average.
20,000.
You're close. 17,000. 17,000 participants. Guess how many attempts? 1,000.
So that many people signed up and said, oh, yeah, check that off.
Yeah, a boatload of people signed up to participate in it, and almost nobody is. 436 is leading. Oh, my gosh.
Maybe they don't know where the segment is.
Maybe it's a tough segment to find. They've got it hidden. It's going through like one of the big hotels out there. So, I wonder where it is. Oh, let's check out where it is.
Like the worst part of town. That would be great.
View segment details. Let's just take a look. Where do they have it? Sunset Road. Oh, it's like not by the. No, it's like
because you wouldn't want it on the strip because
true,
that's during the day. That's impossible to run through there.
Yeah. So anyway, let's jump to London. London has 21,000. This is 21,000 participants. Only 730 attempts. I wonder how this is. I can't believe that there's only 730 attempts. Yeah, this just isn't adding up. Like literally the leader. Holy smokes. 219. Okay. So this is definitely not sorting for me to be able to find the leader, especially with.
Yeah, create your own spreadsheet.
Yeah. But anyway, they have a ton of participants. That's all I can say about that. Los Angeles, 3,300 looks like, I don't know, 300-ish is leading that. 280. Miami, another 3,000. 305 is leading that, it looks like. Nashville, and the reason we're kind of reading through these, we have a couple coming up. Nashville, 1,500 people, looks like around 275 leading that. Nashville would be a fun one. Newport Beach, 485 is leading that of the 4,000 participants in that. I mean, think of the numbers of participants in this. We were talking about the marketing, for Chipotle, how much this is of their budget. It's, look at how many people are signed up for this. The total, like New York, 16,000 people are signed up for this. I mean, this is nothing in there. Oh, here we go. So New York, Cody Clark has 1,402 attempts. So that's up there. Jamil and that other guy, Jamil and...
so this guy's got more.
Kevin are at 1,400. No, less. They're at 1,500.
Oh, okay.
It's about 100 more. Oh, and he has somebody, Roland Mann. He has 955. So, there are some people challenging in New York for pretty high. Paris, 17,000 participants, 280, looks like 280-ish is leading Paris. Surprised there's not more there. Philadelphia is 351. Oh, nope, 909. Steven Pizza. Steven Pizza is leading for the Chipotle. Seems like he would be going for like the Little Caesars challenge or Pizza Hut or Jimmy John. Or no, not Jimmy John's.
We got to start our own. That's what we got to do.
Need to start our own challenge. Maybe that. Oh, and then there's another at 789. So they've got some people running out there in Philadelphia. So Portland, 454, 712. Oh, no, 1,234. Luke Vaughn, 1,234 leading out in Portland. He's got a healthy lead. San Francisco, 5,900. They were talking about people in San Francisco have got a lot going on out there. Let's see what those numbers are. 492, 479, some 200. So they have quite a few miles going there because they were talking about that Jameel one that like, can we catch San Francisco? I guess they've got a ton of built up with all, because I think there's the individual challenge and then there's the city to city challenge going on. I don't know what happens with that, but attempting to be the highest city. Seattle. Did I already say Seattle?
I don't think so.
Oh, I said Portland.
Yeah.
Portland. 566. Yeah, it looks like 566. Tempe, here we go. This is the one that these guys have got to be killing it. The Tempe segment, Jameel is at 1,509 and Kevin is at 1,501. They are absolutely crushing it. And nobody's even really close outside of that, unless they're just not giving us unless the way that it's logged isn't great. Toronto, we're getting close to the end here. We have 300-ish leading that. And finally, we have Washington, D.C. with 14,000 people and 868. Looks like that leads Washington.
Is there any rules about how often they have to sync up their watch to Strava?
I don't know. I wonder.
You could do the sneak attack. You could just not show anything and then just download it all at once.
I'll bet they have something. I'll bet they have it, but I'm not going to read through all the rules because there are a lot of rules.
Because we did it on step challenges. There was one guy that would go dark, so you had no idea what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
And then he'd load it all at once.
Yeah, the sneak attack you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't see it says there's some additional information here, and it does give a little bit, but it does not say you have to upload every single day, or at least in this segment, or this section of the rules. But anyway, yeah, that's the segment. Chipotle segment challenge. And man, that does sound fun. And if you're a Chipotle who happens to hear this in the Holland or Hudsonville, Michigan area, you should do this. And we should, but do it next year because Mitch can't even run right now. And next January, oh my gosh, could you imagine doing that right now?
It'd be a rough year.
Downtown Holland would be great because it's heated.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that in New Zealand for 0.2. But we have a Chipotle in Holland. Do you have a Chipotle in Hudsonville?
No.
We have one in Holland. I think Chipotle Holland should do this challenge.
And do it on the snowmelt.
And do it on the snowmelt. How much fun would that be? Downtown Holland. And there's that segment that runs you out. So you wouldn't have to do it like right downtown.
You could do it on that. Make it that segment right there.
Oh, that's more than 2/10 though.
No,
I think it's got to be.
But just keep it so you keep everybody on that little
1/10. But that's a small area too. Although, the video I was watching with Jameel, it is a small, like it's not, it's like there's stores. Do you imagine?
It gets tight. So
there's a Chipotle on or near that segment, and they're letting, I don't know if I should say it. Well, he said it on his video. They're letting him use the bathroom or whoever, if that makes sense. If you're a Chipotle, you're sponsoring this, you'd be nice to those people that are out there doing that. But anyway, that's the Chipotle challenge. Go check it out on Strava. Search it on YouTube. There's tons of, I think there's at least a bunch of videos for Jamil and what he's doing, but he's uploading them all the time, which is kind of neat to see. And reach out to your local Chipotle and have them put it on in their town and grow this challenge. Or find your favorite restaurant, better yet. If you don't like Chipotle, go to whatever.
Or your favorite running store.
Or your favorite running store. Hey, free shoes. It'd be, yeah, and that's the way they do it, right? Free shoes for a year. And you read the fine detail, it's like it equals 4 pair of shoes or 3 pair of shoes every 4 months or something like that.
It's fair.
Yeah, I mean, that would work. I would still be happy with that, right? Yeah. But anyway, yeah, go check it out. It's kind of neat, kind of fun. We thought we would just cover that in this week's episode. And I think we nailed it.
I think that's it. Right?
That's going to wrap up this week's episode of the I Don't Know Running podcast. Be sure to tune in next time as we share more about what we just don't know.
Until then, happy running.